Hi guys, if you are new here, this is True Cat Tarot and I am True Cat. Today, we're starting a little late today. If you're watching this on the day it airs, we're starting kind of late. For what you need to know today, this message originally is airing May 13th, 2024. Super late start on the day. I had a late night last night and so I consequently slept in today. And it's just a weird energy. I kept picking up tarot decks and none of them felt right. The only thing that actually felt right to me was one of my oracle decks, the Goddess Dream Oracle. So we're going to go ahead and pick 3 cards out of there and see what messages we have today. Okay? So as usual, like, comment, subscribe if you like my readings, if the messages resonate with you. Share with your friends if you feel like they need to see the message. I feel like with the 3 cards that we're getting here, I feel like I want to encourage you, the viewer, to use your discernment about which one has a resonant message for you. I don't know that they're all going to have a resonant message. I feel like this is really a day to use your discernment. And again, if you're watching this when it airs, it's Monday. This is a very intuitive day, just like feeling your body. And let it tell you what you need to know out of these messages. If they seem like they link together, I'll talk about that, but that's not necessarily going to happen. So let's go ahead and get shuffling. As usual, I will be listing the cards down below, the deck that I'm using today. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, I will also be leaving that link in the description box below. If not, I'm just really happy to make these videos. So what do we have here? Okay, so we had, interesting, we had spiritual insight and life purpose coming out together. So these are these 2 cards. They are numbers 22 and 32. So I am going to take these together as one message. I'm going to go ahead and pick the other 2 piles in case they come out as piles, so to speak. And then I'll actually get into the messages. We have self-exploration, number 29 on that card. And then we have happiness, joy of life, number, is that 44? No, number 14 on that particular card. Okay. So one of the things that is kind of going through these messages, I feel like I'm seeing both a lot of green and a lot of purple. And I feel like as the cards go from like the first ones that I drew to the last one, they are getting lighter in color. Like these are the first ones I drew. This is the second, and this is the third, and they're just getting lighter in color. So for those of you that you find something in all these messages, there could be a feeling of things going from dark, not illuminated, not really knowing what's going on, mushroom treatment I just heard, to being in the light and knowing what's happening, everything illuminated, clarity, things of that nature. So we're just going to start with the first 2 that I grabbed, which was life's purpose, coming out with spiritual insight. Again, numbers 32 and 22. Life's purpose, it says manifest your dreams, and spiritual insight, that one says sacredness. There is a swan, a hare, and a wolf on this one. So those could be Those could be animals that have messages for you or are significant to you. Is that a swan or is that a goose? I'm not sure. On the other card, we have the cycles of the moon, and we have the triple goddess in all three of her forms, the mother, maiden, and the crone. I feel like for those of you who are receiving this particular message, so 22 to 32 is about when I feel like we're kind of transmuting from the maiden to more of the mother. Even, and yesterday was Mother's Day, if you're watching this when it comes out. Even though, even if you're not actually like a mother in terms of you've never given birth, you've never had children, and you know, you could even be like, well, I don't have pets either. The feminine, I feel like, and even if you're a man, like everyone has masculine and feminine energy. So like by the feminine, we are still talking about one's creative energy, right? The innate creative energy, creating from a place of passion and inspiration rather than for more utilitarian needs, right? I feel like there is this feeling here of like finally figuring out like what it is you want to do with your life, finally figuring out what it is you want to create with your life, what you want to leave behind when you go. With the moon cycles that we see over here, the moon cycle often talks about, you know, when you start with the new moon, you have that like barely, you have that idea, you have that spark of something. It's tiny, it's an idea, an egg, whatever. And then as you move through the moon cycles, you know, you go into a planning stage, an action stage, pivoting, a releasing kind of stage. And releasing, like, as in, like, there's two different kinds of releasing that you experience during this. There is releasing, which is more of a spiritual, emotional release. This is more of a physical release. It can be released, like, in terms of celebration, like you have a baby and now we're celebrating the birth of that baby. You birthed a book and now we're having a release party for the book. Things like that. This is more of a celebratory, gratitude-esque release, right? And then you kind of, from there, you move into like letting go, like refining, and then like letting go of what's not serving you, and reflecting and figuring out what you need to know for like the next cycle of the moon, right? Like it's this whole very like, it's incredibly methodical when you take it step by step. And the thing I like about moon cycles is if you're someone who is trying to like make multiple changes throughout your life, like in the course of a year, for example, you could be like, you can use a moon cycle each month to get yourself into each change, to get places in your life, right? So I feel like you're kind of at that egg stage, that new moon stage. Let me see what the book says. Day 2 and 22. Okay. So I'm, like I said, I'm reading those two messages together, but if you are interested more in the part that says life purpose, this card right here, this is your thing. It may seem that your hopes and plans have been lying dormant for a while now. Life has been busy and the daily activities have overshadowed your real life dreams. Bridget is here with Wolf Spirit to call into action. She speaks to your intuition and gazes into the eyes of your soul, asking, what is your true life purpose? What is your heart longs for? Now is the time to begin to manifest your dreams. Wolf brings a message of freedom and independence. He also brings strength, power, and determination. Bridget will empower you with bravery. To begin with, there may be confusion and doubt about how to make the first moves and which direction to go in. Your steps may be tentative and at times faltering, but fear not, for Bridget will be at your side, lighting your path and giving you strength. Trusting your innate wisdom and intuition, you may have to break some ties that are holding you back. Do this with clarity and kindness. A bud has to burst for a flower to bloom. Bridget will send her totem swan to carry you to higher ground, whether that be metaphoric or physical. From here, your vision will be clearer. Enjoy the ride and feel the wind blowing away dusty fatigue and cobweb-coated, say that 5 times fast, hopelessness. Knowing that with Bridget's help, your confidence will grow and all things will be possible. Affirmation. I trust in my intuition. I am able to find my life purpose and follow my dreams. Okay. And then for spiritual insights, we have Goddess comes to you in her 3 aspects, Maiden, Mother, and Crone. The Maiden Goddess, Bridget, brings sparkles of inspiration and optimism. You may notice that she appears a lot in this deck. Yeah, this is definitely a very Bridget-oriented deck, so if that's a goddess you follow, I really recommend this deck for you. Boan, the Mother Goddess, brings spiritual insight and creativity. Serdwin, the Crone Goddess, stirs the cauldron of transformation and brings inner wisdom. As one, the 3 goddesses call you to connect to your source. They speak of the mysteries of the unknown and encourage you to make time to be open to sacredness in your life. Perhaps you might make small rituals to connect with the phases of the moon or to create a seasonal altar. Your acts of dedication may be small, but they will be like a gateway for sacredness to flow into your life. You may begin to understand with your heart and soul rather than your mind. If you can spend time in nature, especially at dawn and dusk. If you can, spend time in nature, especially at dawn and dusk. These are the liminal times when senses are heightened and goddesses can be felt more keenly. At night, commune with the moon and feel her energy as she reflects the goddess cycle, waxing as maiden, full as mother, and waning as crone. Goddess encourages you to let your creativity flow. Write stories and poems, journal, draw, paint, sing, dance, cook, or sew. Dedicate your creativity to her, and she will clear your mind and open your heart and bless you with spiritual insight. Affirmation, I allow space in my life for divinity to flow. That's beautiful. So that's those first cards. If you feel like you've gotten what you need, I will see you another day. If you want to continue and stay with me, then we're moving on to the self-exploration card. So with the self-exploration card, this kind of feels like we're in the middle of the night, but it's bright, it's illuminated with the moon. The moon helps us to see things that were harder to see in the dark. So now it's a little bit easier to see. It's not daytime, but you can see more. She also appears to have, well, in the background, we see a bird, a fox, and I can't tell if that's a skunk or a badger. So, considering that she has with her either a skunk or a badger, I can't tell which. And those are, you know, like kind of misunderstood animals, right? So you could be someone who feels more misunderstood. You could be someone who revels in fairy tales, mythology, the place of myth. I'm thinking about how the place of myth, the place of imagination. I'm thinking about how last night we had watched Finding Neverland and how J.M. Barrie like really lived in the space of his imagination. And that's how he dealt with life. And from there he created, you know, beautiful works like Peter Pan and things like that. If you want inspiration for like how your imagination can like help you and aid you and inspire you, I would really recommend that movie. But let's read from the book and see what else we have here. And two, like if you're connecting with both of these messages as one whole big message, I would say definitely like if you're trying to dive into your creativity for the sake of your life's purpose, for the sake of like creating something larger within your life, self-exploration is going to be a well of things that you can draw from, right? So, see, that's number 29. I have a feeling Bridget's that card as well. She pops up a lot in the, she's not the only goddess in the book. She's really not, but she pops up a lot. I want to say she makes up a third of the references in this book. Okay. Deep in the forest of your remembering she comes. In stillness she comes. In myth, fairy tale, and folklore she comes, with stories of losing and finding, of deaths and height, of loneliness and connection. Goddess encourages you to recall those stories of long ago and far away. They are as relevant now as they have always been, maybe more so. You might like to reread stories from your childhood or discover anew some myths, folklore stories, and fairy tales. See if they touch something deep within you that had lain forgotten all these years. Perhaps there is a message hidden deep there that might help with the current concern. Dig deep, for the message may be well buried. Persevere, and with Badger strength and determination to help you, much may be revealed. Okay, Badger. But, you know, maybe also skunks. You know, they're cute. Stinky, but cute. Like music, distinctly heard. Initially, the notes come separately on the breeze, but as you get nearer, they unite to form a tune. So it is with myths and fairy tales as they take you into the voyage of self-discovery. Gradually, the symbols, paradigms, and archetypes come together to throw light on areas of inner darkness. Bring healing to old wounds and connection to your inner self. Explore the area around where you live. The countryside, woodland, parks, rivers, lakes, and sea. Wherever you are, the land and water will have a story to tell. Spend time seeing if you can hear the story that is being told. In hearing the story, you become one with it. Goddess is speaking to you through every tree, plant, mountain, valley, blade of grass, and droplet of water. Listen. Affirmation. I can make the voyage of self-exploration through fairy tale, myth, and folklore. So yeah, definitely doing self-exploration. This sounds like it's much more for the sake of healing. So for some of you, that is your message. Self-exploration and reconnecting with that inner child for healing, right? For others of you, this is a way in which Spirit is inviting you to connect with your creativity. For those of you that you're taking the whole message, right? Which, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty sound advice when you're a creative. You know, often when you're a writer, you're taught to read as much as you can. When you're an artist, you look at others' work, you study how they created the work. When you're a filmmaker, you study movies, you know, you study other ways that creativity that others who practice your medium get their messages across and things that they are trying to explain through their art, right? But then the other thing too is there is a whole thing with being inspired by mediums that you don't practice. In poetry, for example, we do poems called ekphrastics, and ekphrastics is when you're looking at a piece of art, of visual art, painting, a drawing, whatever, and you are writing a poem about what you're seeing. It's being derived by what you are seeing in the work. So that's one way in which mediums work together. In film, they're combining images and acting and music, right? So really, like, allowing yourself to be inspired not only by like your inner child, but also by other mediums too, I think is part of the message here. And then if that is all the message that you need today, again, love and light. See you again tomorrow. If not, we have our final message, happiness, which if you've been waiting this whole video for this message, thank you for being patient. Or if you're taking the whole message as one, right? So speaking of inner child, I look at this I look at this image and this is definitely like a maiden. And she looks like she's like barely on the precipice of, you know, anything that could be recognized as womanhood, right? Like she's very, very young. There's a rabbit there. Rabbits are symbols of fertility. I'm noticing how this is a lot of like greens and yellows, very spring colors. I almost feel like the invitation here, like if you're part of that moon cycle message, I almost feel like the invitation here is to allow yourself to become younger again. Just because we physically age doesn't mean we have to age in every other way. It doesn't mean we have to lose that inner child, right? So yeah, there's almost this invitation here to allow yourself to become a child again and allow yourself to view life through the eyes of a child with that awe, with that sense of wonder, the curiosity of it all. And then for some of you, because we do have the rabbit there, this could simply be a message that you're going to be bringing life into being soon, whether that be actually having a baby, it could be adopting, it could be you're getting a pet, or it could be that you're creating something like art, right? Art or a book or something, right? So let's finally get to that message. I've actually never drawn this card before, so this is exciting for me. Happiness. The enigmatic hare comes dancing into your life, calling you to remember your true, wild, happy nature. The goddess Astra, skips into your life with her totem hare. She is the goddess of fertility and possibility. Hare embodies the female spirit of the land, intuitive, wild, and free. She is urging you to remember your inner wild spirit. Remember the joy of life you had as a child when each new day bubbled over with excitement and new discoveries. Astra calls you to reconnect with the land, to resonate with the changing of the seasons. Also, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. I'm doing my best. If you can, get out into nature. Listen to the birds singing, hug a tree, and feel its life force. Marvel at the beauty of it all and let a sense of wonder grow inside of you. Breathe deeply, filling your body with joy and happiness. It is time to brush away the dust that has been fogging your senses and come alive to the joy of life. It is a precious gift to be treasured, loved, and experienced to the full. Astra speaks to you of fitness, vitality, and creativity. Now is the time for new creative ways of thinking. Let go of old, tired constraints and embrace new ways of being. Start a new exercise regime, dance, take cold showers to stimulate and refresh your system. Make time for journaling, begin a craft or art project. Try something new. Just as the hare darts this way and that, so too can you change direction and do things differently. Experience life in a new way. Feel the wildness in your soul respond to Astra's call. Be playful and creative in your dealings with life's challenges, and happiness will be your reward. Affirmation. I embrace the joy of life. I make time for activities that will enrich my life and bring me happiness. So that is literally all the messages that we have here today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sitting through this reading, whether all of this applied to you in some way, or, you sat patiently for a reading that was specific to you. Either way, thank you again. And I will see you again tomorrow. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye.